In the silent depths of the ocean, where the darkness swallows even the most stubborn light and silence weighs like lead, reigns a creature that seems straight out of a nightmare: the great white shark. For millions of years, it has been described as the perfect predator, a living hunting machine, fast, relentless, capable of sensing even the most distant drop of blood in the water, a true emperor of the seas. But in 2014, an event brutally changed this narrative. The seemingly impossible happened. A healthy great white shark, nearly 3 meters, 10 feet long, was defeated by something larger. Much larger. This shark was nicknamed Alpha. It was part of an ambitious study conducted by Australian scientists who wanted to understand how these giants migrate, where they hunt, and how they behave in different regions of the ocean. For this purpose, Alpha was tagged with a modern device attached to its dorsal fin. This marine black box recorded depth, location, temperature, and movement patterns, transmitting all this data back to the researchers. For months, everything seemed as expected. Alpha behaved exactly as a great white shark should, hunting, migrating, alternating between deep dives and moments near the surface. The tracker showed a predator in peak form, until the signal suddenly disappeared. Initially, scientists thought there might have been a technical failure. The ocean is unforgiving. Extreme pressures, collisions, or curious predators can all damage equipment. But the truth was far more disturbing. Weeks later, the tracker was found washed up on an Australian beach, intact and with a story to tell. Analyzing the data, the researchers were stunned. The device recorded an abrupt dive to 580 meters, 1,900 feet, far beyond the habitual limit for a great white, which rarely exceeds 300 meters. Immediately following was the most unsettling detail: a sudden temperature increase from 7 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. This could only mean one thing. Alpha and its tracker had been swallowed by another living being, a warm-bodied being, much larger and much stronger than Alpha. And here the real mystery begins. A great white shark, considered one of the planet's deadliest predators, had become prey. The question that kept scientists and the public awake was simple and terrifying. Who or what managed to devour Alpha? Many researchers' initial guess was straightforward: orcas. These mammals, known as killer whales, are not only larger than great whites. They can reach 9 meters, 30 feet, and weigh 6 tons, but are also incredibly intelligent and hunt in groups. There have been documented records of orcas attacking great whites with surgical precision, often removing only the liver, their favorite part, and leaving the rest floating like discarded refuse. At first glance, it all made sense. An orca could easily defeat a nearly 3-meter shark, but the data soon began to weaken this theory. The depth recorded during Alpha's fatal dive was nearly 580 meters. Orcas prefer shallower waters, rarely descending so deep. Furthermore, the 25 degrees Celsius temperature recorded in the tracker did not match. An orca's body maintains about 38 degrees Celsius, similar to a human's. In other words, it wasn't an orca. If it wasn't the queen of marine mammals, then who else could it be? Scientists and the public began to look at a legendary creature, the colossal squid. These rarely seen giants can reach 18 meters, 60 feet, in length and inhabit extreme depths, specifically between 300 and 600 meters, the same range where Alpha disappeared. Imagine the scene: thick, sucker-filled tentacles wrapping around the shark, dragging it into the darkness and swallowing it whole. It's the very definition of a nightmare. But once again, science debunked the fantasy. Squids are cold-blooded. If the tracker had stopped inside one of them, the temperature would have dropped, not risen. Moreover, there are no reliable records of colossal squids attacking healthy great white sharks. The hypothesis was epic, but not real. Here we arrive at the favorite theory of the curious and the legend hunters. What if it was the return of the megalodon? This prehistoric titan, which lived millions of years ago, could reach 18 meters in length and weigh over 50 tons. With teeth the size of a human hand, the megalodon was, without a doubt, the greatest predator in the oceans. The idea that it still existed, hidden in the depths, was too tempting. Documentaries explored the topic. Sensational headlines popped up around the world. After all, wouldn't it be incredible to think that the monster still swims beneath our feet? But reality is cruel. If a megalodon were truly alive, we would already have much clearer evidence. Entire whales appearing mutilated, mass alterations in migratory routes, accidental footage. There is simply no way such a colossal creature could hide for centuries without leaving consistent traces. Even so, the ghost of the megalodon still haunts the collective imagination. What if it was none of the above? What if the culprit was something that science has yet to discover? An uncatalogued predator, adapted to the deep sea, fast, warm enough to register 25 degrees Celsius, and capable of defeating a great white shark without resistance. This hypothesis could not be dismissed, especially when scientists began to realize that Alpha was not an isolated case. Analyzing other shark trackers, they discovered strange patterns, sudden disappearances, abrupt changes in direction, altered migratory routes, and the most disturbing detail. Smaller sharks were avoiding certain areas of the ocean, as if instinctively sensing something lethal there. It was as if a forbidden zone existed, a territory so dangerous that even the kings of the sea feared it. Researchers named this place the Killing Zone. With every piece of data analyzed, the mystery surrounding Alpha grew denser. The hypothesis of an unknown predator began to move from mere imagination to serious consideration. If sharks were avoiding that region, it was because something down there had enough power to alter the behavior of elite predators. It was then that the scientists decided to take the next step, directly explore the Killing Zone. The mission was considered risky from the start. To face the dark and hostile depths of the ocean, the researchers built a reinforced submersible. It was not a luxurious machine like submarines in science fiction movies, but a robust capsule designed to withstand extreme pressure and even violent attacks from large marine animals. The descent started calmly, but the situation quickly became chaotic. Just 20 meters from the surface, the submersible was surrounded by dozens of sharks. Among them were aggressive bronze whaler sharks and even orcas, which approached territorially. It was as if the team had invaded an arena already occupied by hungry hunters. Visibility plummeted. Communication began to fail. Each impact of sharks against the metallic structure made the hull tremble as if it were made of glass. The crew knew, if they continued, they might not return to the surface. With no choice, they decided to abort the mission. Despite the failure to reach great depths, the attempt brought a valuable discovery. The Killing Zone was not just an ordinary underwater canyon. It was teeming with life. The abundance of nutrients attracted a massive food chain. Giant schools of fish, medium predators, great whites, orcas. It was an abnormal concentration of elite species in a single territory, as if the ocean itself had decided to put all the gladiators in the same ring. But there was something strange about the animals' behavior. They were not just hunting, they were on high alert, as if reacting to an invisible threat. Orcas displayed unusual aggression. Smaller sharks swam too fast, as if trying to escape the area. This is the kind of behavior that only appears when an even larger predator is nearby. Back on the surface, the team dove into analysis. Every species was investigated, every suspect evaluated, and one by one, they were discarded. Orcas, depth and temperature didn't match. Colossal squids, cold-blooded, impossible. Megalodon, lack of evidence. Common predators in the region. None had the sufficient size or strength. The case seemed like a dead end. But then, one detail began to capture attention. Reviewing years of tracking records, scientists noticed a pattern. Several tagged great white sharks in that same region had exhibited movements identical to Alpha's. Sudden deviations, unexpected dives, total disappearances. It was as if they were all reacting to the same enemy. The confirmation came when migratory maps were compared. Smaller sharks that previously frequented the Killing Zone simply stopped entering. Others reached the limit of the region, but quickly retreated. It was fear, pure instinct. And if nature teaches anything, it's that animals do not abandon food-rich territories without reason. To give up such an abundant location, the reason had to be obvious. There was an absolute lord of that arena, a predator so dominant that even great white sharks feared it. Faced with all the evidence, scientists were forced to consider a disturbing hypothesis. What if Alpha's killer wasn't a new species, nor a prehistoric ghost, but simply another great white shark? Not just any shark, but an out-of-the-ordinary giant, larger, more aggressive, and capable of hunting its own species. This possibility seemed absurd at first glance, but the data began to point precisely in that direction. The investigation seemed cornered. Every suspect had been discarded. With every hypothesis knocked down, the feeling was that the ocean laughed at our ignorance. After all, if it wasn't an orca, a squid, a megalodon, or any other known predator, then who was the invisible owner of the killing zone? It was at this point that scientists returned to the data with even keener eyes, and there, amidst thousands of records, they found the missing piece. One of the records showed a colossal shark, over 5 meters, 16.4 feet, long and an estimated 2 tons in weight. This animal exhibited much deeper dives than habitual, and more disturbingly, it maintained a thermal signature identical to the one recorded on Alpha's tracker at the moment it was swallowed. It was as if the predator's trail had been recorded on its victim's own black box. The evidence was overwhelming. Alpha had not been devoured by a legendary monster or an unknown creature. She had been devoured by another giant, great white shark. Although shocking, cannibalism among sharks is not new. In various species, including great whites themselves, cases of predation between individuals have been documented, from embryos devouring each other in the womb to violent disputes in the open sea. But Alpha's case was different. This was not an opportunistic attack or a fight for food. It was a planned, strategic, and brutal hunt. The predator not only killed Alpha, but dragged her to extreme depths, using the pressure and darkness as weapons to weaken her. It was predatory intelligence in its purest state. Based on the analysis, scientists estimated that the responsible shark measured at least 4.8 meters, 15.7 feet, potentially exceeding 5.5 meters, 18 feet, a giant among giants. More than size, it was its demeanor that frightened. This super shark didn't just feed on common prey. It dominated territory, imposed fear, and eliminated rivals. The killing zone was not merely an underwater canyon. It was the throne of this cannibal colossus. That was why smaller sharks fled. That was why orcas exhibited unusual aggression. All signs pointed to the same truth. That part of the ocean had an owner, and he accepted no intruders. In the end, the revelation was even more unsettling than any initial theory. The predator that devoured Alpha was not a prehistoric ghost or a mythical creature hidden in the shadows. It was something much closer, much more real, a great white shark, only in its most colossal, aggressive, and cannibalistic version. A monster we already know, but rarely see in its most brutal form. Alpha's case is a disturbing reminder. We know only the surface of the ocean. Its depths continue to hold secrets that challenge our understanding. If even the kings of the sea can be hunted, what else might be hiding down there? And an even more troubling question remains. Could the behavior of these super predators be shaped by the changes we ourselves provoke? Predatory fishing, pollution, global warming. All of this might be making sharks even more territorial and violent. Perhaps Alpha was just the first recorded victim of a new chapter in the history of marine life. So who devoured Alpha? It wasn't an orca. It wasn't a colossal squid. It wasn't a megalodon. It was a giant cannibalistic great white shark, the absolute owner of a forgotten territory of the ocean. And this may be the most frightening revelation of all. The real monster is not something we have yet to discover. It is something that is already here, swimming beneath us, waiting for the right moment to strike. And what do you think? Was Alpha the victim of an isolated colossus? Or are there other cannibalistic super sharks scattered throughout the depths? Leave your opinion in the comments. And of course, before swimming away from this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. Most people who die in the ocean never see it coming. They don't panic. They don't scream. They just make one mistake, and it's over. I put together a survival guide explaining the invisible dangers the ocean never warns you about. Rip currents, silent predators, and the moments when instinct fails. The ocean is not your friend. The link is in the description. Read it before you enter the water again. Here, we always dive deep, sometimes too deep. Until next time, and be careful. In the ocean, even kings can be devoured.